Hi guys, and welcome back to Victori's Creations. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around and you enjoy the tutorial. For today, I know I told you guys in the newsletters that today we were going to work on either our sublimation tumblers or we were going to work on our Easter wreath, but tomorrow, by the time you're watching this, tomorrow will be St. Patty's Day, and I thought we'd kind of give St. Patty's Day its holiday, so to speak, before we jump into the next one. So next week we will be working on something Eastery. Not really sure if it's going to be the tumblers, the wreath, or if it's going to be our grandparent sign. Probably our wreath, but I don't want to make any promises just in case something happens and I can't get that particular tutorial up. But it will be Easter based. For today though, we are going to work on creating some cute home decor signs made from Dollar Tree. Now, not everything that I use is made from Dollar Tree because the vinyl that I have here is not Dollar Tree. The transfer tape I use is not Dollar Tree. My Cricut tools are not Dollar Tree. So there are things, and my Cricut obviously not Dollar Tree. But the beads to hold the sign up and the sign itself, that is Dollar Tree. So you can get quite a few of these to make all different designs. I have some free designs for you that we are going to put together today, and I'll even show you how to create this template in Design Space. So if you're ready to get started, join me at my crafting table. We'll go over everything that you need and then we'll get started. The items that we are going to need for today's project are cutting machine. I'm using my Cricut Explorer Air 2, standard grip mat, permanent or removable vinyl. I'm using the holographic vinyl, transfer tape, Dollar Tree chalkboard signs, Dollar Tree beads, Cricut weeding tool, Cricut Scraper, scissors, and your designs. If you're ready to begin, I'll show you where to find your designs and we can get started. Step 1. Get my free designs. To get the free designs, you'll click on Victori's Creations Vault. Enter the password. You can access the password from the bottom of each email that I send out. Locate file 014 Chalkboard Sign Design SVG. Click and save to your computer. Step 2. Preparing your designs. The first step in preparing your designs would be to upload your images into Cricut Design Space. Click Upload, Browse. You can also drag and drop your images in this area. Pull up where your files are located on your device. Open up the folder and you will see that there is 3 SVG files, Pray, Love, and Blessed. You can click on whichever one you want. If you want to upload all of them, you will have to do it one at a time. You don't have to do anything to the image because it already knows it's an SVG, so just click Upload. Once you have all 3 SVG files uploaded, click on all of them or the ones that you want to use and click Add to Canvas. If you click on all of them, you'll notice they're all bunched together, but they are not all. If you move them without clicking anywhere else on your canvas, you'll notice that they all move at the same time. So you just want to click outside of this box and then select one at a time to move, to kind of separate them. To be able to see everything, click the zoom out button in the bottom left corner, and that'll make it easier for you to move. You will have to resize these to fit your chalkboard sign or to fit whatever you are putting these on. We know from our measurements that they cannot be longer than 6.5 nor taller than 3.25. So to resize, you can either resize by dragging the corner or you can resize by coming up top. I'm going to resize through the top I do not want it to go completely from one end to the next. I want a little bit of space. So I am going to size them at 6 inches. So I hit 6. I put 6 in and hit enter. And I kept my locked. So it kept it in proportion. So now it is 6 inches long by a little over 2 inches tall. And that's pretty much going to be my measurements for all of them. So I will repeat the same process. Now that I have them smaller, I can zoom it back in. I don't necessarily need it at 125. You can also create your own SVGs here in Design Space. You just will not be able to download them to your computer if you create them in Design Space. To create a sign or a text, click on the T or text on the left-hand side. Type in what you want it to say. Choose your font. I like to move my text over so I can see what the font looks like when I click on it. And you just want to play around with the font until you find the one that you want. This is going to say Home Sweet Home, so we're going to do the H or the home, and then we'll duplicate it because I want home, the two homes to be the same font, and I want sweet to be a little different. Now because I want both homes to be exactly the same, I'm going to come over to my right hand side under layers and I'm going to click on the duplicate. And that's going to duplicate it for me. And now for sweet. And I want sweet to be more of a scripted font. Make sure, because I have made this mistake before, make sure that the font you choose is thick enough, because we're working with small fonts once it's cut out, that it is thick enough that it will cut properly without being too thin. I actually rather like that. Look for the corner. You notice that this corner has a straight, unless you move it out a little bit. You don't want this. This makes the text bigger. I mean, you can use that. That makes the text bigger. And the curved makes it to where you can turn it. Before resizing, you want to double check the measurements of the surface that you are putting this on. So you want to make sure it's going to fit. So we know that our surface is a little bit more than 4 inches tall, and lengthwise or widthwise, it's a little over 7 inches. So what we can do, and it's kind of an ovalish shape, so we can set the width to 7 and the height, and to do the height, to change the height, we have to unlock it because otherwise it's going to change the width back. And I'm going to change that just to 4. I'm going to change the color to white, and then we're going to arrange it to go to the back. Now we can arrange it to be similar to and now we can make this a little bit bigger. You want to make sure that your height stays below the 4. take and delete your oval because you no longer need it. Take and drag your mouse across the Home Sweet Home. I'm going to change mine to black so that everything can be hopefully on the same mat. Drag back across, and we're going to attach. Once you have everything completely done, I like to save mine. Chalkboard signs. This way, if something happens, I can go back to it. It's not lost, and I don't have to redo everything. I have had that happen before. Step 3, cutting your design. Click Make It. You can kind of move things around a little bit if you feel like it needs to be. I really do not like my stuff being right at the edge when I cut it. We are going to need enough to go at least to the 8-inch mark on your standard grip mat. Also, because this is not iron on, this is just vinyl, we're laying it on top of something. We do not mirror it. If you mirror it, this is how it's going to look when you are laying it on top. It'll be backwards. So we're going to keep the mirror off. Click Continue. Make sure that your correct machine is selected. Choose your material. I'm using premium vinyl. And choose your pressure. I always choose more just so that I know that it's going to cut completely through. Make sure you load your fine point blade. If you are like me, it's already in your machine, so you want to take it out. Check your blade and make sure there is nothing on it, because if there is even a small piece of vinyl or paper or anything, it could mess up your cut. Load your mat and press the load button. Step 4, weeding your design. Before I begin weeding out any of my big projects, I like to go ahead and cut each individual word or image so that I'm not having to work on a larger piece of vinyl. It makes it easier when you're weeding out the outside of the vinyl. I also like to start on the inside of the letters to get all those pieces before I do the outside. If this was vinyl that was hard to see through, I would use my Cricut Light Bright, but because I can see the outline of the letters very well, I don't need the Light Bright. This is where I was telling you to be careful with your font, because sometimes you can choose a font where the cuts are very thin, and you have to be very careful with those. If these letters, or if these words had been any smaller, we would not have been able to use this font. Once you have all of the insides weeded out, then you start with the outside. And I just pick a corner and very carefully, because you want to make sure it doesn't pick up any of your vinyl. This is another reason why I like doing the inside of words before I do the outside. Because these vinyl pieces, this font has thin areas, it's another reason why you have to be extremely careful. Another trick I like to do is keep a pair of scissors, small scissors on hand, so that I can cut the outside as I go if I need to. Be extremely careful with the tiny pieces. And just use your fingers to kind of smooth out any bubbles that are up. So as you can see, it is possible to use the small. It is very difficult. It's very time consuming, not really difficult, time consuming, and you have to be very cautious. And you see how easy this vinyl rips. So you have to be careful of that too. Very beautiful. Not hard, just a little time consuming because you have to be careful that you're not messing up the actual design. Of course, originally I had planned on using a white vinyl for this, but as it turns out, I didn't have any white vinyl to use. So this works. Step 5, apply your designs to your chalkboard signs. Before applying your designs to your chalkboard signs, I like to wipe them off to make sure that there is nothing on the chalkboard part. And then re-wipe your surface off. Take your transfer tape. Place it over your design. Take your scraper and run it over your design to help adhere it to the transfer tape. Do it on the back as well. And then slowly lift the backing off of your design. Because this is see-through, you can choose, do you want your design to be straight? Do you want it to have a little curve to it? Kind of feel like this one should be slightly curved. Place your design down where you want it. Take your scraper, go back over it. And then take a corner and just lightly and very slowly peel it back. And I like to just walk my transfer tape off. And repeat this same for each design. The same steps. To transfer tape over your design. Go over the back of it. And then slowly peel the backing off. Place it where you want it. Smooth it. Run your scraper over it. And then grab a corner and slowly peel it back. I like to pat mine down some too to make just for my own peace of mind, so to speak. You can choose to end your project right here. You can say, okay, that's good. I'm happy with this look. I like the jute twine. I like the way it looks, and I'm done. Or you can choose to add some beads. You will be able to get about 14 beads on here, which is going to be from, depending on what you want. I like to have more of a even look, so to speak. So I want both of the checkered, because the backboard is checkered. I want both of the checkers on mine. I just like the way it looks. So I would need just these. These on the bottom I don't need, but what I want to do is cut where I'm going to need on this. I'm going to cut closer to this end, because if these beads come out and I lose what direction they're in, it's no big deal. Matter of fact, take them out, set them to the side. I wouldn't get rid of them because you can use them for another project. On these signs, if you want to add the beads, do not cut this thread. The way it is on the back, it's got the plastic piece. Undo one side. Leave the other side as it is. Take beads off one at a time and thread them through. Go back through the bottom or the other hole, pull it through, and then you've got, now you can choose to take one, have one less on each side if you want. That's fine. That's totally up to you. Just depends on how many beads and how you want it to sit. Repeat the same process for the rest. Certainly hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. Before we close up, I wanted to show you that for the last two, I took away one. So instead of adding 14, I only took away one. So I added 13. But what I did is, instead of keeping it in the same pattern that it come off of the cord, I kind of made it a little uniform. Oops. So as you can see, it starts, this center is one color, and on this side is the same as this side. And it does seem to fit better. It does seem to fit better with taking just the one bead off of the square ones, or it's not square, the rectangle ones. I truly hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and it has inspired you to go out, get you some chalkboard signs from Dollar Tree, get you some beads, or even some ribbon would even be cute too, and create your own home decor chalkboard signs. So until next time, remember to keep crafting your best life.